What's good? What's good? It's the Jeremy Hazelwood Show. What's good? What's good? Let's get ready to go.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hazelwood Show. Plug in, turn it up. Let's go. Hey, hey. Welcome to the Jeremy Hazelwood Show. Push play, let it roll.
Let's go.
What's good? Welcome to my show. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to the Jeremy Hazelwood Show. This podcast is all about exploring a wide range of topics that spark curiosity, build community, inspire action, and deepen our understanding of the world around us. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe now on whatever platform you're seeing or hearing this by smashing the follow or subscribe button. My mission with this show is to create a space where we can explore the questions and ideas that matter, bringing together knowledge from different fields and experiences. Throughout my career, I've been passionate about connecting people with the resources and ideas that empower them to make a meaningful impact. This podcast is an extension of that passion where we can learn together and grow together. Music has the power to heal, unite, inspire, and transform culture. In Season 4, we're diving into the world of music and the people bold enough to chase creative dreams. Whether they're on stage, behind the scenes, or in the boardroom, these guests are building culture, creating impact, and showing us what it means to turn passion into purpose. Today's guest is a singer, songwriter, performer, artist, and brought the world a classic album, How I Do. Just a cool, down-to-earth woman, Philly's own. Welcome to the show, Reese.
Oh, that's a great introduction. Thank you.
Thank you for joining today. We have a lot to talk about this season. One of the things that I'm doing is kind of digging into where it all started. So tell me about when you first got this bug to be a part of the music industry.
A part of the music industry, it didn't happen until I was in my late teens, I think in the 90s, when I was about 19 years old,
Okay.
20 years old. I had always been singing. As a kid, I started singing when I was 8 years old. But to be in the music industry, I didn't know anything about that until about 19, 20 years old when I decided I wanted to make a demo tape in New York. It happened because I was actually in college at Temple University, and I did my first year, and I was going into my summer after my first year in college, and I just wanted something fun to do. And I went to see one of my parents' friends who was a lawyer, and I was going to see him because I needed to get an internship for the summer as I was a finance major. And he was like, oh, maybe you can be like an underwriter. My dad was like, talk to Ron. He's my lawyer and he'll help you with that. And we had a very quick conversation about the internship. He was going to hook me up with a money manager, someone he worked with.
Yeah.
But most of the conversation was about his daughter, who I grew up with. Her name is Santi White. And he was just like, Santi's in New York. You know, he's bragging about his daughter. She's in New York. He's happy about it. She's working at a record label and you should get with Santi. And along the whole way, like they've known me my whole life and they always knew that I sang. And so he was just like, oh, you need to go visit Santi in New York. You're a singer, right? And I was just like, okay, that sounds fun. And one hangout session with her kind of turned into this career pretty much. And making my first demo, her writing the songs, her kind of coaching me along, like really coaching me with every single aspect of being an artist and how to be an artist and what to do, what to sing, pulling certain kind of swag out of me and giving me ideas. And she was very crucial to my career or beginning my career.
That's awesome. And that's Santigold, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's
Santigold.
awesome. I never knew that part of it.
Yeah, she's from Philly.
It's funny how one conversation can just turn into a whole career.
It was the
you were
right
just going to school,
Yeah.
Went for finance and okay, we'll go see about it.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time probably just hearing your voice on record, right? Or hearing it recorded and like hearing a song.
Well, like I said, I'd always sang. I went into the studio one other time as a guest. I was with my cousin Mark. We call him Big Mark. And he was very much in the music industry. And he had a group with him called Press for Time that he was a member of. And he was always going to the studio and he wanted to bring me around a person named Little Troy, who the industry knows as Troy Carter.
Well, all right.
Now, Troy Carter's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the music industry still, but his most famous artist that he managed was Lady Gaga.
Oh, wow. Okay.
hmm
Yeah. Kind of a big deal.
Very big deal. But he's always been
Yeah.
big deal. He was a small in stature,
Mm-hmm.
but very smart.
Mhm.
Very always the guy that is in the room thinking forward, thinking about the
Yeah.
business part of it, where
Yep.
everybody
Yep.
else was like, we want to sing, we want to sing, we want to jam.
Right.
That's how I always saw him. And
Mhm.
that was the first time I was ever in the studio. I can see it right now as we're talking about
Yeah.
it. And then the next time I went, I think I sang something on the microphone. But prior to that, I've sang on stage before doing recitals for my voice teacher. So it wasn't that much different.
Right.
But it was like something really quick. It probably was obvious I had no experience, but Big Mark, he definitely is the first person that brought me into that studio environment. And we're still cool today.
Now, that first demo that you did you do the demo that summer that you went to New York?
Yeah, I went to New York and I started working on songs with Santi
Okay.
and her friends.
Okay. And did any of those songs make the album, or was this just you're working through your first time putting some songs together?
No, they made it to the album. Some things are just divine intervention.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and she took a couple of the songs. The whole intention of doing the demo was to get it to her boss, which was, I think his name was John Sweeney or something like that. He was the president of Sony at the time, and she was an A&R assistant. So she was
Nice,
like,
okay.
"Oh, we're gonna do these songs, and we're gonna like give them to my boss." And
Yeah, yeah.
he liked them, but he said, I don't know how much he liked them, but I know Santi had a very, 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 very good relationship with him
Yeah,
at the time. So he was gonna listen to whatever she brought to the
Yeah.
table. And we gave him a couple songs, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna give you a demo deal." And
Okay.
she got me a demo deal, which was like $16,000 that they gave me
Okay.
to
Yeah.
make 6 songs. So we went in the studio, we made the 6 songs. A couple of them were from the original set of songs. No. Actually, I didn't have any songs recorded. She just went to him and said, "I want to get this girl a demo deal." They gave me the
Yeah.
16,500
okay,
bucks.
okay.
And that's
Yep.
when I made the first
That's when
demo.
you cut it.
And I
Yep.
cut 6 songs with $16,500. And
Wow.
those 6 songs, they really liked them. And they said, "Go back, here's $32,000 and go make 4 more songs." But
Okay.
out of the first demo, the first 6 songs, 4 of those songs made it to How I Do. It's
Yeah.
kind of like, I didn't know at the
That's
time
great.
that was a
Right.
thing or not a thing, but now looking
Yeah,
back,
yeah.
that's definitely not a thing. You don't just make a demo, your first demo, and that becomes
No.
your album. And then that's most of the songs that people now 25 years later are still singing. So
And
they went through some changes, but
yeah, but
those were
it's
the songs.
also in the time that you got your deal, because I'm assuming that's what led to the record deal. They like the final body of work.
No,
Sounds like
no.
10 songs. No, okay.
So-
Tell me about that.
So they basically, after the 10 songs, they said, "We really like what you're doing." This is Sony now,
Yeah.
Sony Records. And they were like,
Okay.
"We really like what you're doing. We want to put you in a group. We want to sign you to a deal, but we want to put you in a group. We want to put you in Groove
Okay.
Theory."
Oh,
And I was like, I love Groove Theory. I love their music. But at the time, they were replacing Amel LaRue because she was
Yeah,
going
yeah.
solo. So they just wanted to keep it going with Bryce. And I just honestly, like brutally honestly, I was like, I don't think I want to do it, because although he was very attractive to me, like very attractive, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna be in the group
I
with
think
Bryce.
to every woman.
To every woman
loved
at that
him.
time.
Yes, yes.
I was
yes.
like, I think that'll get old real quick, and then I'm not gonna want to be in the group anymore. It had nothing. I didn't
Yeah.
even think. I wasn't even smart enough to think about the music. That's how young I was.
Oh, that's so funny.
You get what I mean? I was like
Yeah, you're
19.
like, I'm not going to join the group because of a cute face.
Right. I was like, after a while, he's not gonna be cute anymore to me, because I'm gonna know him. He's gonna be like my
Right.
brother.
Yeah,
So I
he's
was
going to
like, no.
irritate me. And yeah,
Yeah. What a dumb reason not to be in a group of that stature. But
it's all good. That was a risk for Groove Theory, period, because Amel did so much for that group. I mean, her and Bryce were the face, but she was the vocalist. So whoever came in was going to have the judgments of
Right.
whoever was going to try to replace her. That
Right.
was going to be really difficult to do, as we saw ended up happening anyways.
yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I don't think it would have been that difficult, because
Mhm.
my vocal style is so different, and my voice
It
is
is.
so different, that I think it would have just been like a different version of it.
Ration.
Yeah, it's like my voice is one color, her voice is another color.
True. Yeah.
I couldn't even try to sing how she sang. Her voice is so feminine sounding to me, and I like it a lot. It's so soft. It's not even just soft, but it's just angelic. I don't think I have an angelic voice, to be honest. I don't know
It's
what my
very
voice is.
different.
It's just very different. So I don't
Yeah.
think any of the same songs would have worked, or that whole style or anything. So I think it would have been kind of cool. You would have got a whole different vibe. But I can't compete with Amel LaRue. And I can't compete with her daughter either, because her daughter is a
Oh,
beast. I don't know if you've
I don't
heard
think I've
her
heard her
daughter.
daughter. I
Phenomenal
haven't.
voice. Phenomenal
Wow.
voice. Both
I
of
have to
them.
check her out.
Yes,
Okay.
check them out. Everyone check them out.
All right. So you were like, I'm gonna pass on Groove Theory,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
what?
and then I was so lucky enough that Santi got a really great deal and negotiated a really great deal for me, that if I didn't accept the offer that they gave me, that after 6 months of them making their decision, then I own the demos and I could go shop them somewhere else.
Oh wow,
And so that's what happened. And
that's
I started
crazy.
shopping them elsewhere.
Mhm.
And a few different labels liked them. It was Virgin, Rough House Records,
Mhm.
MCA Records. And those were the three that were the ones. And out of all the three, MCA was giving me the most money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was funny because Rough House, they were like, they gave me the lowest.
hmm
And I was just like, I love that you guys have a superstar, Lauryn Hill, there.
Yeah.
But this big fancy house that I live in the suburbs is my parents'. I don't own anything. I need
Yeah.
to make money. I can't live with my parents forever.
Right.
And this record deal is about me, not where I necessarily come from.
Exactly.
And Virgin Records, that just didn't work out for some reason. I went with MCA Records. And
Nice.
I gotta say, so importantly,
Yeah.
that the reason why I even got to MCA is because of a music industry legend named Hank Shockley.
Yes. Yes.
And I just thought the dopest thing was that he found me. I feel like he
Really?
founded me
Okay.
because he got word of one of my songs, not anything on that demo, but
Mhm.
he heard one of the songs that I referenced for a songwriter, that she wanted to sell the song and she needed someone to sing it. So I referenced it and he heard it and was like, I don't like the song, but I like the singer. Does she have
Wow.
anything? And when he
Mhm.
heard it, he immediately linked me up with Jay Boberg, the president of MCA. And that is why I signed the deal. And
Wow.
the other
Hank
cool
Shockley.
thing, yeah, Hank Shockley. The other cool thing is that he founded Public Enemy.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well, he
like,
founded them. I mean,
yeah,
I knew he
like,
was involved in
no,
printing everything like that.
he
I didn't
brought
know
them to
he
the
put.
table, I believe. Yeah.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
was like,
Crazy. I know.
that's crazy.
Legend.
Legend.
That's amazing. The time that you came up is very different than what it is now. I'm pretty sure they don't do demo deals now.
No,
You
they
got to have like the
should.
streaming numbers. They should. And you're a
They
prime
should.
example of that. Right now, it's just how many streams do they have? And they're not really taking risks on artists, period. It's not necessarily about talent. And it hasn't been for a while. And even when you came up, it wasn't necessarily. So you getting the deal the way that you did was really about talent.
It
Because
was,
it wasn't like you brought MCA or Sony this large fan base and you're
no,
doing these shows and
zero.
all that. It's one of those instances where it's talent that's developed through a demo deal. It gives you an opportunity to show what you have and actually being able to get a deal because the music is good.
Yeah.
That
And
doesn't happen now. I wish it did.
no, but it also, the other catalyst for me was that Santi had an amazing relationship with the president of the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And relationships are key. That was really where it was, because we didn't have social media. So it
Right.
wasn't like you could just do something stupid online, blow up, or be someone's
Yeah.
girlfriend and be hot.
Right.
And then Jimmy Iovine is like, yo, I want to sign you too. Because that's like
Right.
how
Right.
it goes. People's girlfriends are getting deals because they're
Yeah.
like the hot girl and they look cool and they have a big following. So yeah, it was definitely relationships, and the music was where it was. And
Mhm.
Hank Shockley and the A&R,
Yeah.
it
That's
was that thing. So
That's really cool, man. Let's talk about your style. So your music style bends genres. It doesn't fit into a box, which means that you're staying true to your art and your sound. And you could easily make a rock album or R&B album or a selection of any other specific type of genre, but you don't. So you're like this chef that mixes ingredients and spices from different cuisines and makes something new and amazing. And it
thank you.
takes boldness to do that. What has kept you multidimensional with your style without selling out?
I think number one, when you don't have a huge team around you
Mhm.
that's making millions of dollars off you and
Mhm.
wants you to continue to do that, that helps to not sell
Mhm.
out because you just can't, is it really worth me trying to be something I'm not or trying to fit in this box for
Yeah.
no money? What am I really getting out of this? It's like I'm not getting money and I'm not doing what I like. It's got
Mhm.
to be one or the other or
Yeah.
both. It can be doing what I like and making money, but it can't just
Yeah.
be like not making money and not doing what I like.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. So that's like the number one factor because money is very attractive. It's necessary. But when you have
Mhm.
a lot of it and you become the cash cow, everyone is going to steer you that way to make more, no matter
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah.
music you love to make. If
Mhm.
this music over here is making more money and it's not what you like, they're going to try to push you to make that. So I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah.
your team. For
Mhm.
me, I think it was lack of having a team. I think
Mhm.
being independent and having to do it on my own. I
Yeah.
think when I did sign my deal and I had a budget, a strong budget from the label, I got really great musicians around me because
Mhm.
the great musicians get paid. They
Right,
get
right.
their money. They're the first ones you want to pay, and the label understands that they get a certain thing out of musicians at a certain level. It's not like you're going to have a great musician not locked into a label situation because
Yeah.
that's how they're going to get the most for their money. I
Mhm.
mean, the most for their time. For me, it was a combination of being signed, doing something a little bit different and interesting, getting away with it.
Yeah.
And then the people at that level that only work at that level, they were down to find me first because
Mm.
it was like, would you rather work with someone who's doing like a Disney thing?
Mhm.
Or would you rather work with this girl who looks like she could be doing a Disney thing or has a look, but is actually doing some music you actually like? It
Right.
was the same thing at the label. When you are a worker bee at the label,
Mhm.
do you want to work for the same thing over and over again? But now you have
Right,
this
right, right.
unicorn. It's no, you're
Yes.
going to try to work with that unicorn. So I
Yeah.
had a lot of people at the label who also, till this day, reach out to me, come to shows that are like,
Yeah.
yo, we really liked working your project because it was music I actually liked.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
different. Did
indifferent.
not fit in a box.
No,
Yeah.
and they liked it, because some
Mhm.
different isn't good, or
Yeah. That's true. True.
some different is signed to labels,
Mhm.
but it's very eclectic. So only a small group of people really are in
Mm.
tune with it. There was a group called Sigur Rós,
Mhm. Oh,
and
yeah, yeah. I know
right,
them from Iceland, right?
right.
I think.
Now
Yeah.
they had a very specific type of music that they did.
Yes.
I can't say that they sold more records than I did, or I sold more records than them. We both did very specific things, but they were
Yeah.
still signed to that label, and I was still signed
Wow.
to that label. But then you have Sting signed to that label. I don't know. It's just interesting that being signed at that time, it got me towards the right people and the best
Mhm.
people. It helped me work at a certain level and get used to that level. So when I became independent, I still wasn't satisfied unless it
Yeah.
sounded like that certain level.
Right. You set the standard. You knew what
Yeah,
the standard was. And
yeah.
like you can't go backwards from that.
No, but some
No,
people do.
some people do. And you
I
can
just was
tell when it
stubborn.
happens too.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just stubborn. I was like, I'm not like some people that I've even worked with very closely when they were signed to a major label, they worked with this caliber of producers and
Mhm.
musicians. And then
Yeah.
when they became independent, they were like, oh, I just need free beats. I'm just whoever can give
Yeah.
me a free beat. Now me,
Right.
I was in that same position where
Mm.
I had a certain caliber and I could choose who I wanted to work with. And then when I
Mhm.
became independent, my choices were a lot less because a lot of those people
Right.
were not around
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah. Yep.
However, I didn't just take a free beat from anybody. The beat
Mhm.
had to be not only free, but also really great.
Right. Right. The quality had to be there.
Yeah.
And I've seen that just like you, some even what I would deem some of my favorite artists
Hmm.
post label, the albums haven't been the same. And maybe lyrically or
Right.
sonically, their singing is fine, but the production, the music, and everything just is not there. And it's been kind of disappointing. Well, let's jump into How I Do. This year marks the 25th anniversary. So
Yeah.
we've kind of talked, not around it, but we've talked the build up to it. Tell me in 2026 what this album means to you.
It means the world to me. It means everything to me. It's been keeping me going. It's been making me happy. It's been making me sad. It's been making me just everything. It's every emotion because it's been my life for a long time and it's been one
Mhm.
of the best things in my life. It
Mhm.
also was kind of like the bane of my existence at some point, but
Yeah.
it's everything. It's literally everything. And it's even my future because
Mhm.
it's going to be the stepping stone into the new music that I have coming. It's also my legacy. Some people say that their children are their legacy. I don't have children, but if I did, I don't think they would be my legacy. I think my work is my legacy, and I'm proud of that. I would want my work to be my legacy. I want my kids to be my kids, and I would obviously love them. But maybe I'm saying that because I don't have them. I don't know like how that feels, but I think it's my legacy and it's my future all in one.
I've read comments, and I'm sure you have as well, online from people that talk about this album, and to many, it's revered as a classic. It's inspired. It's gotten people through different situations and just really see different things in their own lives, and even the emotions that you just called out: happiness, sadness, relationships. They go through all those emotions that you just described. How does it feel knowing that you've provided so much joy and inspiration to people, and most of these people that you'll never even meet, just strangers out there who just love and connect with your music?
It feels amazing. If you cannot see that I'm beaming right now, it feels really great. I feel like I've never felt like this before, but like right now, like this year, I feel like I can't believe we did like a Nirvana Nevermind. My album did not sell nearly as much as any of these albums I'm about to talk about, but for me, that's what it feels like I did. I feel like I did my Shiggy Otis Inspiration Information. I feel like I did my Marvin Gaye What's Going On. I feel like I did my like Live Through This by Hole. I have one of those. I have an album that no matter what happens, motherfuckers gonna want to hear it. You feel me? And they say Vision is a karaoke song. That is huge to me. And I'm gonna be brutally honest. When we left the studio every night doing these songs, we thought it was that good. We thought they were that good. We just ain't had no proof. Because we just did it. And we would come out the studio like, yo, that. But 5 years later, to do the shows that I just did last week, back to back, and to have Mr. Man from the Bush Babies standing in the audience watching, and I could, in the middle of the songs, I could walk over to him and be like, whisper in his ear and say, look, remember when we thought this song was going to do this? Remember when we would say this about this song, and when we were going to perform it, and what we were going to do? Like, for Say It Anyway, the punk song at the end. We will be in the studio talking shit like, yo, Reese, when you sing this song, they would say this to me. When you sing this song, you know, you got to get punk with it. Kick somebody in the face, elbow another person, you know, stage dive, you know? It was like,
bring that whole emotion, that experience to it.
You don't give a crap. Say it anyway.
And
that's how we would talk about each song. We would be like, oh, on Ice King, put your hand in the sky, look at the audience and look out in the sea of lights, and everyone's gonna have their phones up. We literally imagine this in our heads. We would talk about it just kind of joking, just like feeling ourselves in the moment. Oh, and I do this song, be like this, I'm gonna wear this, I'm gonna do this. And then last week, we did that. I did that. You know what I mean? And the only bittersweet part about it is that Santi wasn't there, Doc wasn't there, Corey Smith wasn't there, Naeem Ali wasn't there, a kid called Roots wasn't there, Jeremy Bowes wasn't there. The only person there was Mr. Man from the Bush Babies. I feel like I don't even really talk to none of them like that anymore. I still felt like it's not going to be right until they get to see it, because whether or not we're friends, whether or not we fuck with each other like that, we still did some shit. And it's still,
had that moment together.
We had that moment together. And I just wish I had that with them one more time.
Hey, you're going to Reese. This is the bat signal. We're talking about it now. When this is released, that's the bat signal flashing up into the sky. This is going to happen. We're going to speak this into existence.
Yeah, it's like, hopefully they'll see it and want to be a part of it and want to just be there. But that album really was a team effort. Those people I spoke, that was a team effort. And unfortunately, personalities change. We all grow up and we have chips on our shoulders, or we don't. I don't. I'm still the same person I was 25 years ago. Like, you know, outgoing, outspoken, good, bad, or ugly. I'm outspoken. And so that was the only thing. But the songs and everything felt great. And it felt great to be up there with two new people as well. Because they really worked hard on the album, or on the stage, on the show. And the programming of it, and they just really cared. They learned the music. They really cared. They created the whole show. I don't do any of this alone. None of it. None of it. And it's not necessarily a big team. Sometimes it's just one other person. I have my strengths. I have my weaknesses, and I know who to work with. I may not be able to
Yeah.
always afford them, but I know who I want to
Yeah.
work with, who can
Right.
do what I need. But
Exactly.
and sometimes I can.
What I like about what you said with the studio piece was you were thinking beyond the studio, really. It's thinking how these songs are going to connect with the
Yeah.
listener, whether it's at a show or when they hear it. It wasn't just, I'm going to come in and record this for me and we're in the studio and we're just thinking about this studio environment. It's like every song was very intentional to connect, and to see how this album still connects with people today is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you a question that may be impossible for you to answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Which song is your favorite off the album?
It totally changes. Right now, and for a long time, the one that's for me the banger,
Mhm.
Let Love.
Okay.
Let Love. I love 700 Miles though. That's a close
Yeah.
second. I love Ice King. I love the song How I Do.
Mhm.
But Let Love has always been that one for me.
That one, huh?
Yeah, more than anything, I love the music of it. Not even really the lyric. Not that I don't like the lyrics, but it's.
Sure.
But
You
yeah.
feel it in a certain way.
But let me tell you guys the least favorite, because people don't ever ask what your least favorite song is
All
on
right.
the album.
What's the least favorite?
People are going to be mad at me, but it was Tsunami.
Really? Tsunami?
I didn't really like
Wow.
that song. Like when I
Really?
recorded it, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do this right now. And they were like, that's the
Yeah.
only song working in the studio. And I was like, I'm singing it one time. You guys better
Such
get
a
this
good
vocal.
song.
It is a great song. And then after people heard it and told me how much they liked it and why,
Yeah.
then I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I like the song.
Right,
But
right.
that wasn't a song that I was like, woohoo, put this on my album. I
Right,
was
right.
like,
But it was kind of this good into it before the hidden song or whatever came in.
I guess. I
Uh,
don't know.
It was a good way to ride it out.
We didn't know how to put that hidden track in there. That's why we made it a hidden track, because we didn't know
Yeah.
where in the
Like,
song
where does it
listings
belong?
it belonged. So
Yeah.
that was the toughest part of that album, was figuring out the song.
The order.
Yeah, the song
Yeah.
listings.
Yeah. So what are you doing to promote this 25th anniversary? Talk about that.
I'm not doing probably as much as I should, because I have so much administrative work to do around the album. But
Yeah.
I am posting on social media. Today I'm going to meet with someone to help me with my TikTok. I'm also telling people about it and doing interviews like this. But that's about it.
Well, that's not just it now. We've
I
got
mean, I feel
a
like there's
re-release. We have a re-release.
Oh, yeah, and there's a
album.
re-release, but that's not
Yes.
really me. That's interscope.com. So
True.
last year they reached out and they said that they wanted to reissue the original. And they were like, okay, well, since you're like still here and you're still working the
Yeah.
album after 25 years and just still around, they were like, we would like to know if you would like to help come up with what the cover looked like, be a part of
Nice.
it in any way you can. And so I was happy to do that. And I got to tell them the cover and what the colors I wanted to use and things of that nature, and got to put in a quote. And they just decided to press it up. They're only selling it right now on vinyl. I
Okay.
want it to be sold in Urban Outfitters and in other outlets like that, because
Yeah.
I feel like it's a classic like the other albums I see. But I think for some reason they don't give a fuck. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
the numbers are probably not right there at where they need to
Mhm.
be. Until the numbers show them that, then
Right.
they're just going to sell it online on their website, which, to be
Okay.
honest, I thought that was very bad. I thought I was not happy about that. I thought it was not giving it enough light. Having a marketing plan that way is extremely underserving it, because I have a lot of fans, but that's where they are. And so they said, well, we're going to press up 2,000 of them. And then if they sell out, I guess they'll press up more. So
Yeah.
I'm trying my best to get my fans to pre-buy at least half of those,
Mhm.
if not all of them. So it forces them to do that. And maybe it'll
Okay.
force them to press up some more, that they'll put them in stores. You
Yeah,
know,
we'll put that link for it, Reese, in the show notes. So if people are
yes,
listening to or watching this in the show notes, click the link
yes,
and get the vinyl. It's
Yes.
limited edition. I know the people in Discogs are happy because I've looked for this album online for years.
Oh,
and
me
it's
too.
always several $100s. I'm like, as much as I love the album, I just can't.
Oh,
But
no, I feel you.
also, you did Reset. So tell me
Yes.
about how I do Reset.
So I was just hearing the feedback, seeing the Discogs, seeing 800 people on Discogs say they want this vinyl. And I started prior to the 20th anniversary, about 2 years before the 20th anniversary. We're now at 25th. So a couple of years before the 20th, I went to the label and I said, I really want to get this back in print. And I figured out all the jargon. I'm like I had mentors. Shout out to Steve Corbin. who totally helped me with this whole process and educated me on things. He was like, ask them to be a third-party licenser. So I did, and they started getting me to run around. And I'm like, okay. And then Steve came in there, and he kind of told him, I'm helping her do this, so you really can't give her the runaround. Because he's an executive at Warner Brothers now.
Yeah.
And he's just
knows what
really,
it is.
he knows what it is. He's highly respected. And so he made phone calls for me, which, again, it's relationships, right? Long story short, we were in negotiations, and it came time to press up the music, get the music. And they told me it was, they sent me files that were corrupted. And I made a bad decision by saying, okay, if I can't have the files and I can't have the master back so I can reproduce the album, then I'll just do it on my own.
Yeah.
And I made that decision because the priority for me of getting my masters back and getting the files was not really just to press up the album. It was, I was going to press up the vinyl, but of the original music, but I wanted to do a whole album of remixes. And I wanted to have,
isolate the vocals.
I wanted to be able to isolate the vocals and
Yeah.
isolate certain parts in the song. And so that's really what my drive was. So when that happened, I wasn't thinking, duh, you should still get this license for how I do. I wasn't thinking that, which I should have, because I would have made a lot more money. And I would have been able to market things more and live and all that kind of stuff. So that was my mistake. But I ended up saying no to them and or not even talking to them again, and just re-recording how I do. And I recorded it from scratch. I recorded it from nothing. I recorded it from silence. And Steve McKee, who is my partner in life, he had a studio called Pine Street Studios. And he was actually moving out of the studio because the building was being sold. But that was the last project that was done in that studio.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And that studio, he's done albums for Bilal.
Nice.
Songs were done there for Estelle and Jill Scott and Adam Blackstone and James Hoyt. So like all these people worked there. And he executive produced How I Do Reset. He was the person that found all the musicians, organized everything, and double checked everything to make sure it sounded right. And it sounded similar enough to the album. We recorded it, we pressed it up. I was so lucky to, at the same time as Geffen not giving me correct files, I was able to pay for all this stuff because I had an investor at the time.
Yeah.
And I shout out to John. And John made it happen. He's, just re-record it. And so now I own my own master. And I did that.
That's great.
And we did that. And it sounded great. It sounded great. And I'm really happy we did that because it gave me some kind of leverage. And people wanted it as well. Unfortunately, it's a misprint because one of the songs didn't make it onto the actual vinyl pressing. It's on Spotify and online, but it didn't make it to the pressing just because when I listened to the test pressing, I went to a place called 48 Record Bar. And I initially thought that I was going there alone with just me and Steve to listen to the vinyl in a vinyl bar with a great system, but before the vinyl bar opened, right?
Okay.
Come to find out, when I got there, I text the guy like, hey, I'm here, I'm outside the door. And he comes out the door and shuts the door behind him. He's okay. I invited some people that want to listen as well.
Oh, man.
And I was like,
this isn't what we talked about.
I was like, like my emotions went from, to like, really? To like, to like, oh my God, I'm so
it's like a good surprise.
It was, it turned quickly into a good surprise. I was like shocked. I was just like, not prepared for that. Shocked. And then immediately like, oh, thank you. I can't believe people wanted to listen to this with me. Being a little bit overwhelmed and just surprised and shocked. He's like, I have a table for you. We have champagne. I was like, wow, this is so nice. Mind you, I'm in sweats and we're like not.
You didn't know you were the guest of honor there.
Had no
idea. Just came to check your album out.
Just came to check it out. And I think because I wasn't drinking a lot, because I don't drink a lot. I had like one glass of champagne. But I was sitting there listening, and it dawned on me I never heard my album, the original or this one, in a place, in a bar. And it sounded amazing. And I'm sitting there with the executive producer, Steve McKee. I'm having champagne. I'm like looking around and people are like into it. And they listen to a couple songs. They flipped the album over. And I never realized that Sitting Back never played.
Yeah.
And I was just caught up in the moment.
Yeah. Let's press it up.
Pressed it up. And it was not until I sold the first 75 copies. And I think it was like the person number 24. I should look this email up. And they were like, love the album. Sounds great. Is there any way you're going to like do you sitting back? And I was like,
You're like, what do you mean?
I'm like, on the
It's on
label
side
it
one.
says it, on the cover
Right,
it
right,
says
right,
it.
right, right.
But that's what happened.
That's all right.
It's all right because it's a misprint. It's worth even more money now.
Exactly.
And
It's limited,
it's
limited
super
edition
limited.
now.
And
Right.
I have to thank Vanessa German, a visual artist, for that because I was sitting on 1,000 copies. I stopped selling them. And I was like crushed. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was pissed at the guy who did it, who made the mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But I realized I know I have to take responsibility for it.
Mm.
And I had to eat it. And then I went to go talk to my investor again to press it up again.
Mm-hmm.
Then the pressing company took the money and then they went bankrupt.
Oh,
Chapter
gosh.
7. So then the repressing
Wow.
didn't happen.
Wow.
But Vanessa German, visual
Wow.
artist, amazing. She was like, no, you got to understand that this makes it even more limited. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
So shout out to her.
And that's the truth. Because it's your work, you look at it as a flaw. But to everybody else, it's even more special now. So we get the reset that you've redone. And it sounds great because I have a copy as well. And it sounds amazing. There's some songs where you even added some additional instrumentation
Actually,
that added to it and didn't take away from it. I noticed something was missing, but I was also like, hey, this says it on the label here. This says it on the cover, but it's not here. This is actually going to be worth more money now because it's a misprint. So I wasn't even tripping about it. I'm glad you've settled and embraced that. Not all mistakes are bad mistakes. This actually increased the value of it. So it's all good.
Yeah. So definitely go out and buy it, guys, because
yes, please go
there's
out.
only
It's still available.
Yeah, it's still
Where
available.
Can they get it? On your website? Is that right?
They can get it on my website, but they also can get it in person at a show.
Okay. At a show? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I remember a post a while ago, you talked about some work that you did with NERD. So I'm curious to know more about that. How did that come about?
Well, that was an interesting time because I did work with Pharrell. That was one of my most favorite collaborations because I'm a huge fan of NERD first and foremost, like all of their albums, super, super fan of. I met him one time backstage at a show. And it was just like high and by. It wasn't like a big deal, but he definitely expressed that he liked my music. And then I would see him from time to time at random things like at an MTV Video Award show or something with like him and his wife. But then he reached out and was like, yo, I'm a part of NERD. Obviously, he's talking about NERD. And we're thinking about adding a female to the group. And I'm like, oh my God, I would love to be in NERD. And he's like, well, I already have someone else that I have lined up to be in the group, but she's signed to DJ Clue. And if DJ Clue doesn't let her out of the deal, then I'm going to need somebody else that's ready to go. And ready to go meant, obviously, they don't have any record deals or record contracts with anyone, which I didn't at the time.
Right.
It also meant he had me come to Miami to work on a few songs. And they were duets between me, Pharrell, vocally, and the band. And that was a great experience. That was like pretty surreal. And then he was like, well, also you need to come on the road with us for a little bit and see a couple of the shows so you can see if you can get with it. Now, mind you, I was like, I already know what you guys do. I'm a huge fan.
Right.
And he was like,
was this after the first album?
Yeah, this is well after the first album. Well after. This was like right when I first started doing Idol Worship with Talib. But best believe I was not going to hesitate to leave that group to do NERD. The joke that Pharrell made to me was, if you're going to be in NERD, you have to perform in Vans. You can't perform in heels. And I was just like, okay, I was like, I'm in it. I want to be in it.
Right.
And
That's
so.
a small ask.
Yeah, very small ask. So we did the songs. I went on a couple of dates with them, saw the show. Mind you, the entire band pretty much was from Philly.
Okay. I
Right?
realize that.
Yeah, shout out to Daryl Robinson. Rest in peace. He was one of the drummers. I believe Wayne Moore was the bass player in the band. And mind you, Wayne is now Beck's bass player. And he is also the bass player that played all the bass lines on How I Do Reset. He's nasty with it. He's one of Steve's friends, and he's just an amazing musician. But all the guys were from Philly in the band. And I didn't really know them that well, but I was about to act like they were my best friends because if that was going to help. So they were all
do what you got to do.
Yeah, they were all rooting for me though. We did that. Then we did a whole hair and makeup session of what kind of hairstyles you want to wear. At the last minute, not at the last minute, but whenever things came about, the girl got out the deal.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
I didn't get it, but I was like so
Dang,
close.
you're right there.
Yeah, but that was
But
those.
there's some songs out there.
There
I've
are.
heard there's some songs out there that people can still find if
Yeah,
they are resourceful and hear the songs that you did with NERD.
yeah. There's this one song called "You Know What," and I
Mm,
did a demo of it in Miami, and
mm,
he ended up playing it for Jimmy Iovine, and
mm.
Jimmy Iovine was like, I don't, because Pharrell was trying to get me signed. He was just trying to
Yeah.
help at one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
He's just like, yo, you need to be signed. Like, why are you not
Exactly.
supported artist?
Mm.
And so he went to Jimmy. Jimmy was like, do some records. We did a song. And Jimmy vetoed it. Oh, it sounds more like a Pharrell record than a Reese record. And it's, yeah, no shit. Pharrell wrote it.
Right.
That's the
Really.
whole point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that didn't work out, but I
Mm.
did leak that song and some people got it and it's out there and I'll probably post it again just because we're
Yeah.
talking about it.
Right. Right.
There's 4 or 5 other songs that I did with Pharrell that are
Mm.
duets and maybe we can get on to
Nice.
put them out. I
Hey,
don't
man.
know. Maybe it can be
It's
NERD
time.
featuring Reese because the songs are great. He's a great
Exactly.
songwriter. He's a great producer.
And
Oh,
these are
but
songs
wait.
that were not on an NERD album.
No,
Yeah.
but you know what? I don't know if that'll happen. He's like, I don't know. He's like, him and Chad aren't really
Was in
seeing
that
eye to
too. Oh yeah,
eye.
because NERD. True.
But
True.
it
True.
was with all of them. It was a Shay, it was an
Yeah.
NERD
Yeah. Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Hey,
But
but business is
nonetheless,
business.
yeah,
So who
they're
knows?
gonna work it out. I'm
Yeah.
confident in
Yeah.
that. And
Yep.
hopefully we'll hear those songs.
Yeah.
That'll be
Well, let's
great.
talk about what's next for Reese. You've dropped a few singles over the past couple years. Are we going to get another album?
Absolutely. I haven't stopped making music. I just stopped, I guess, releasing it in a big way. I was signed
Okay.
to the major label. I went from
Yep.
MCA to Geffen. They have millions of dollars to promote. That's why it's easy to see like certain people. But
Yeah.
when I went independent, it's just a financial thing is why you didn't hear more. But I do have
Mm.
songs that are new that are on Spotify right now that are on iTunes. You just have to Google it. But I will be putting out more music. I recently reconnected with Kobe James and Malik Worthy. Those are 2 guys that, and with Mr. Man from the Bush Babies. Those are
Okay.
guys that have worked on How I Do. And
Mm.
so we're like back in talking stuff and Kobe's been
Nice.
writing
Nice.
songs. Kobe is an amazing songwriter.
Okay.
I do write songs, but I also sing songs that are written for me because
Yep.
I just love to sing and not
Mhm.
everything is about me, I guess, in that sense.
Yeah.
I just want to have a great project and
Yeah.
it's by any means necessary.
Yep. Yep.
So Kobe's been writing songs. But I also started a duo that you see mostly when I perform live. It's
Mhm.
with my partner, Steve McKee,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
he's a drummer and a phenomenal producer. During the pandemic, we found ourselves, the 2 of us in the studio, and we just were like, yeah, let's just work together and let's
Yeah.
see what we can do. We
Mhm.
would do these small impromptu performances all hours of the day during the pandemic,
Yep.
and we couldn't wait to perform that way live, and we have been
Yeah.
able to do that. So this first round of
Nice.
shows is very special to me because it's what we've
Mm.
been thinking about for a while now.
Wow. Several
And
years.
yeah, several years. And
Wow.
so we're doing these 25th anniversary shows that way with just a drummer, tracks, and we've added CJ Branch on keys.
Okay.
He's a great producer, piano, keyboardist, producer.
Yep.
He's been doing stuff with K-pop artists as well, but he's also working with us and he's a part of our live show and he is phenomenal as well.
Nice.
But them 2 working together is why the show sounds so great.
Yeah.
Steve was also formerly he was the musical director of Bilal's band.
Oh,
Bilal's
okay.
another
Yep.
artist from Philly. And
Yep.
years ago I would go to Bilal's shows and I was blown away by
Mm.
the band.
Oh.
I didn't realize that Steve was the glue for the music.
Yeah.
Bilal is Bilal. And
Yep.
they
Yep.
worked on albums together and helped create his sound together. But if I'm taking things apart, compartmentalizing it, and I'm just
Yep.
looking at the band, it was like that was the thing that I
Right.
was so
Right.
attracted to. So to have him
Yes.
not only be my partner in life, but also in music, to be on
Right.
stage with me, it's like extra special and you can hear
Yeah.
it and you can
Yeah.
hear it. I
That's
don't
great.
really have to convince you. We're doing these 25th anniversary shows. We're going to be in
Mhm.
DC August 29th. We just found out that this show is sold out, so we're probably going to do a second show.
Nice. Congrats.
Then
You've
we're
been
gonna,
selling these shows out, Reese. You've been
Yes.
selling them out, which has been great. I know it's got to be exciting for you.
It's exciting. It feels great. It feels like a big relief. It feels long
Mm.
overdue. It feels like
Yes.
the first time. It feels
Validation too.
validation. It feels
Yes.
great to see. The best part about it is that the shows are sold out and I don't know that many people there.
Yeah.
I had never
Yeah.
seen these people before in my life.
Yep.
The
Yep.
other part is that they're young.
Yeah. You're
and they
hitting.
make me feel
There's
like
been
how
kind
I
of this
felt.
resurgence because I've
Yeah.
seen some of your music is coming back. So you are hitting those younger people. Sorry
I,
to cut you off.
no, it's just, it feels great because they're the age I was when I made it.
Mm,
And it's like I'm getting a second wind. It's just great. It's just great because
yeah.
that's who I want to do music for. I want to, the people who supported me in early 2000s, we were the foundation, but y'all ain't coming out. Y'all ain't
Right,
out like that. You got
right.
kids,
Right,
your
right, right.
grandparents sometimes because
Yeah.
grandparents are younger now,
Hey.
but some of them are coming out.
Yeah.
And I've been meeting some actually that are bringing their children with them.
Hey.
And I'm going to do like a small interview with a mother that introduced my music to her daughter. And
Yeah.
now her daughter is amongst the generation that's
Yeah. Yeah.
resurging my music. So
That's
I cannot
awesome.
wait to do that interview as well. It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
But it's a thing happening right now. It's not just the young kids, it's not just the older people, but it's a lot of people saying, oh, my mom put me onto this. A lot of people
Right,
saying,
right.
I'm 17. I just heard this last year for the first time.
Exactly.
I,
It feels relevant and it still
very
sounds
relevant.
great. If it came out today, it would fit right in because that's the thing about that album. It's
Right.
timeless.
It's
Whether
timeless.
it's 25 years ago or this year right now or 5 years from now, it's still going to fit.
Right. I say to people, the album is as old as when you found it. For me, it's
Mm,
25 years old. For you, it
right.
is a year
That's
old.
great.
For you, it's 5 years old. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I, on purposely, am doing these shows in a way where it feels like it just came out because that's how I feel. I don't
Yeah.
present my neo soul counterparts. You get what I
Right.
mean? I
True. True.
present
Yeah. Yeah.
very
Yeah.
much just different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to present that and just excited. I'm really excited, like really
Mhm.
excited. We're doing LA. I'm trying to do Chicago.
Nice.
I'm trying to just get back out there and do all these places. The show is great. It
Yeah.
is at 10 the entire time.
That's great.
I couldn't ask for
All
more.
right. We have a few minutes left. I have a couple more questions
Okay.
for you. One is I cannot not on this podcast talk about your journey as a DJ. So tell me
Oh,
quick about
yeah.
that. 'Cause we've been talking about your music and
Right.
performing, but let's just drop something in about the DJing, what's going on, and then we're going to move on from that.
Well, DJing has been the thing that made me love music again. You have your ups and downs of being independent and your whole world being about music. And DJing is like that release for me. I'm an open format DJ because I just cannot lock into one genre because listening to my music, I love all genres.
Exactly.
And it's been really fun. I have been supported very well. Steve McKee, he was like pushing me to get back into it. He's like, you can DJ? Why are you not doing it? So that
Right.
kind of kicked me back into it. And I just love it. I know some of the best DJs in the world now. I'm a part of the playlist retreat with DJ Jazzy Jeff. So big shout out to
Oh,
him for even
that's
having
awesome.
that. Just Google
Yeah,
playlist
yeah.
retreat so you understand. And it's like the perfect thing for me because I'm able to be there as a musician, as a singer first, but I'm also so influenced and learning so much from all the DJs. And now that I'm learning DJing and playing out more, I'm taking all that knowledge that I got from that retreat and those people and those DJs. And I'm also looking forward to doing more remixes and edits and all that kind of stuff. So it's just like opening my mind
Wow.
as far as like what I can do with my
Yeah.
own music. So get ready.
Dope. It's like the next chapter loading.
Yeah.
One question I have for you is what advice would you give to talented artists who have career aspirations of being in the music biz, but similar to you, don't quite fit the mold of what's popular?
I think for those artists that are different or just making something new, creating something new in their artists, just keep doing it. Be great at what you're great at. Work on that. Steve McKee told me that once. He said, whatever you're good at, just be the best at that. If your thing is you're the best at making songs that have 5 different genres in them, perfect that and be great at that so no one can be better at that than you. And just enjoy it and just keep going. Even when it's hard, even when it's tough, yeah, you can put it down for a little bit, but pick it back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep
Well,
going.
that's great advice.
Don't ever stop because once you stop, then you know it's over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, thank you for sharing that. Last thing here, this is the time of the podcast. I'm pulling out these clarity cards. All right.
Ooh,
So
I
your
like stuff like
card.
this.
Yeah. Your card is this is a simple one, maybe. What are your hobbies and passions? What are your hobbies and
I
passions?
love playing tennis. That's a hobby that I need to do more, but I'm a tennis player. I started singing and playing tennis at the same time, 8 years old.
Wow.
I used to teach at Arthur Ashe in the summer times. I love it. I love traveling. I'm a foodie, so I love going to different restaurants. I love trying different foods. My passion is I guess I love talking. I don't know if that's a passion, a normal passion, but I love to talk and I love to talk about my experiences. I love
Yeah.
to talk about the things I've seen all over the world. I love to just talk to people. I'm very personable. And I love DJing. That's a hobby style type work. I guess that's it. I
That's
don't really
it.
like
I mean,
TV. I don't
you
really,
don't need a ton. You
yeah.
don't need 50 different things.
But I feel like I
What you
like
said
to
is good.
do so much. I like to go
A
to
lot.
museums, art museums. I love
Yeah.
going to art museums.
Mm.
I love bringing my nephews to art museums. I love
Mhm,
exposing them to music.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not make vinyl shopping my hobby because it's so
Oh my
expensive.
gosh.
But I'm
No,
like,
it's too late for me.
I'm trying to steer
No.
away.
I had to take a step back. I'm still collecting, but it just,
Yeah,
My wife would
kill
say,
you.
"Oh, another package came today."
Exactly.
Like, I don't know what it is. We don't know if there's a vinyl in that box. It could be anything.
Right.
But, it's pretty, we know what it is.
It's intense.
Anyways, well, Reese, thank you so much for taking time to share some of your stories and advice. Is there a good way for people to follow up or connect with you online?
Absolutely. I have a website that I update, and it's like my hub for everything Reese. And it's
Okay.
THE1RES. So theonereese.com.
Okay, cool. Thank you. And to the listener, thank you for tuning in to the Jeremy Hazelwood Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow or subscribe so you're always up to date when the latest episode drops. And until next time, keep following your dreams to find your purpose.